I'm going to try and do something for the wind. Hello, hello. I just had a minor issue again with the orientation of the stream. If you can let me know whether you can hear me or not. How's the volume? Oh, flies everywhere. Can you see me okay? I can't see me on the screen. Hello, hello. Here we are. I'm going to assume everything's okay if nobody tells me otherwise. I'm just going to have a quick... I just had a minor panic with the orientation of the stream again. If you saw last week's... Oh, that made my mouth dry. But I think I just worked out how to fix it. Okay, folks. This is TrampCast. Episode 37037. I am Delta Mike. The channel is down and out in Torrevieja. Down and out. That is to say, let me think. A tramp, a hobo, a vagrant, an indigent person, a person of no fixed abode. Oh, I can see there's somebody there, but I can't read the damn thing and it's faded away before I got there. What are we doing? YouTube, you are rubbish. Oh, there was the stream. I can see it says hello DM. I can't see who's posted it. And my brightness is up full. Sorry, I haven't got a clue. It's just too dull on the screen, folks. Even though I've got my parasol up. Oh, yeah, you can see that on the screen, can't you? It's just not giving me enough shade on the screen. Liz Edwards, it's me, she says. I've just put the sponge on, per your recommendation. Let me know if the volume's okay. I hope it's not muffling the sound too much. I wasn't really able to do a proper test. Now, last week, the chat stayed in view. This week, it's all fading out. If you have it in portrait, apparently chat stays visible. In landscape, chat fades after a few seconds. Bloody thing. And we're gone. Okay, folks, let me just carry on regardless. Carry on regardless. Been a quiet week. I think this will be a relatively short program. Won't be a 2.5 hour or a 3 hour one as some of them have been. Not unless you're really lucky, and I think of something to waffle on about. Where was I? Down and out, vagrant, indigent, no fixed abode, sleeping rough, sleeping on the streets, or in my case, in a fucking big field. We'll get to that in a minute. I've upset some people. What can you do? What can you do? Okay, folks, bit of housekeeping. If you haven't already, thumbs up are always appreciated. If you haven't subscribed, please think about it. Maybe take a moment to share the stream out there. If you want to step away now and post this to Facebook, to Twitter, to I don't know, wherever else these things go. Indiegogo, I've no idea. It'd be appreciated, or you can do it afterwards. That's fine by me as well. Like I said, folks, it's gonna be a short one. If you're joining the stream and it's not just 5 past the hour, then you might be lagging behind. Bottom left-hand corner, look for the word live and the little red dot. If you don't see a red dot, give it a click. That'll bring you forward, up to date with us here in the real world. And then you won't be chatting out of sync with the rest of us and having us wondering what you're talking about. Which was me yesterday on Scruff Dogs. I kept having to dip out of it for things, and when I came back I was forgetting to go back live, and I was a minute or two behind for large portions of the show. Large portions of the show. But we'll get to Scruff Dog in a moment. We'll get to Scruff Dog. Okay, folks. As I said, it is episode 37, and in line with that, we're going to do a few facts about the number 37, just to fill a little bit of time, just to wait and see if anybody else joins us. There's only a few of us here at the minute. See if I can't keep this brolly in the sun. Parasol, sombria. So, folks, the number 37. 37 is a prime number, only divisible by the number 1 and itself. It's a 12th prime number, in fact. Now, beyond that, it's a sexy prime. Never heard of them before, but a sexy prime doesn't mean what you think. It just means related to the number 6. Many prime numbers are 6 distant from the previous prime number. So in this case, 31 was a prime, so is 37. 37's a prime, so is 43. Sexy, 6 apart from each other. The number 37 is also in degrees Celsius, the human body temperature. Science, we always have one of these, don't we? Chemistry. Rubidium has the atomic number 37, a soft white grey alkali metal. Slightly radioactive, very slightly. It has a half-life of 48.8 billion years. Takes it 48 billion years to lose half of its radioactivity. That's 3 times longer than the current age of the universe, as far as we understand things. So it takes its time to decay. It's not that reactive, really. Its uses. It's used to make purple in fireworks, apparently. Beyond that, mainly in lasers, and in particular, laser cooling. I don't know if you know this, but if you shine certain lasers on substances, you can cause a small amount of evaporation of the already warmer elements, the ones that are moving the most. Give them a little bit more energy, and they leave, and they take some of the energy from the rest of the substance, creating a cooling. And this is used a lot to create what are called Bose-Einstein condensates. And this is where, instead of all of the atoms in a substance moving at random, if you can cool them down enough, if you remove enough of that heat, they all start to move really slowly and in sync, and become a kind of a solid. It's a special kind of a Bose-Einstein condensate, anyway. Also used in atomic clocks is your rubidium, and in because of the way it vibrates, it's used as a timing element in certain telecoms protocols and equipment. Mostly beyond my knowledge, but there it is, and it bloody flies. Okay, the number 37. The 37th President of the United States of America was Tricky Dicky, Richard Nixon. We don't this week. Here's something different. Normally, I think every week so far we've had an international direct dialing code using the numbers. This week, not. The number 37 used to be used in East Germany, but with the reunification of Germany in was it 89 or 90, the number was released and is now not used as its own single number, but it's used as the leading 2 digits in some 3-digit numbers. 370, 371, 372, up to 379, used for different countries, mainly in the Balkans in Eastern Europe. So there we go, folks. That wasted a few minutes, but that's the numbers for episode 37 of TrampCast. Oh, you see again, it's fading, and it's gone. Oh, I'm going to have to get a phone with a brighter screen. Even brighter. Live chat. Come on, take my click. And now we can't see them at all. I can see that there's stuff there, but I have to apologise again and say no, can't see it. Can't even see the bottom of the message this time. I'll say thank you anyway, and I will rewatch and get back to. I've got a backlog of these, haven't I? The last few weeks I've been saying I can't read the messages. Roll on winter when we can do this from inside the tent. Here I am wishing summer away, folks. I'm wishing summer away. That's not good. That's not good. Okay, with the numbers complete, let's go to the thank yous for this week. So this week we have no beer sponsor. Nobody bought me any beers this week. You're slacking, crew. You're slacking. It's only €3.50. Get me a 12-pack of beer. No beer sponsor. If you buy me beer, I'll give you a shout out in the thank yous for you or your company or your YouTube channel, your e-commerce store, whatever it might be. So there's the motivation. Buy me a beer or a pack of beer and get a shout out. Advertising to my masses. Speaking of the masses, last week's TrampCast, I know it was all the wrong way around. We had orientation problems, which I've just learned how to solve, because I had the same issue at the start of this one, or just before I launched this one. But last week, YouTube sent about 400 people in to watch the show. And for whatever reason, they all stayed for approximately 1.5 minutes. So it either wasn't what they were expecting, the audio problem was annoying them, or the orientation was annoying, or maybe just me. That can happen. That can be annoying, I know that. But for some reason, they sent in hundreds. I think it might have been because YouTube liked the idea of portrait mode live streams. So because Muggins here accidentally launched a portrait format live stream last week, I think they sent the masses in. But for whatever reason I messed up and they all left again quite sharpish. The average viewing time was 1.5 minutes, which means that they were clicking in and straight out again, and there's just you few folks here watching the whole thing. Anyway, back to the thank yous. No beer sponsor. No PayPal donations this week, folks. Just as a reminder, I'm a tramp living in a field. Life is difficult. I'm down to my last few euros. I think I've got about 14 or 15 at the minute. And I had a panic this morning. I couldn't remember when my phone was due for renewal, when I have to pay Labara, so that I get enough gigabytes to do this YouTubery. And I know I haven't done much of it this week. I haven't done much YouTubery. As I explained in this morning's video, I've tried to do lots, but they just didn't, there wasn't a full story, there wasn't a tale to tell. I did a morning, hello, here's the sea view, here's the sun, nice day, we'll probably have to go out, and then I didn't go out, and so there was no tale to tell, there was no video to make. But obviously I need the pennies to pay the YouTube. No, Tina, no. Hey babe, how you see, with this sponge over the microphone, I can't turn the camera to show her, can I? Not easily. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Can you see her? Can you see what it is yet? It's a Tina girl. Hey babe. Let me put the sponge, oh, turn it back around. Back on the, I'm not the star of the show. Tina is obviously, but put the camera back on me because I'm the one doing all the nattering. What else we got? Yeah, Scruff Dog gave me a bit of a shout out last night at the end of the show, at the end of his show. So thank you to Scruff Dog for the advertising, for the promotion. Always appreciated. I haven't seen him here yet, but I can't see anyway. I can't read the chat even if he was here. But I appreciate it. Yeah. So that's the thank yous, folks. There's no real. Nobody's been to the camp this week. No one's brought me any food. Nobody's brought me anything. Just little old me and Tina on our own. Getting by. Don't worry. We survive. We survive. The last 2 days I should have gone for water and didn't. We're getting low on that. No, we're not. I got lots of 2 litre and 1.5 litre bottles full of water that people have brought me. But all of my 6 litre and 8 litre bottles, all my big water bottles, got used up because we had to do some washing. Tina managed to drag her lead through some nastiness, and I didn't see it, and I picked it up and it went all over me and my trousers and my... Had to wash her lead, had to wash my clothes. I had some other clothes waiting to be washed, so I did those as well. Clothes washing just takes an absolute shed load of water. So I got to do that. I got to take care of that. But that's the thank yous for the week. It's mainly just Scruff Dog. So thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Oh, and Liz Edwards there, who told me about the cutting a sponge and putting that on the microphone to try and reduce the wind, because the last week's TrampCast was terrible for the microphone popping. I got no idea how well this is or isn't working right now. I hope it's not blocking the sound too much. I hope it's keeping the wind out but letting my voice through. I hope. I won't know until I play it back, because even if you were telling me now that it's no good, I wouldn't know. I can't see it. Okay, folks, TrampCast episode 37, and the themes of the week. Here's one. I don't know how much to say on this one. I lost some key supporters, some people who've helped me a lot in the last year or so. And somewhere along the lines I've said or done something that offends them. And as far as I can gather, it was my attitude or my... what would you say? Their interpretation of my attitude towards the police. They think that my comments have been too derogatory and too anti-police. I think I've gone to great lengths to stress that I'm not anti-police per se. I'm against bad policing. And so, when the head of the police comes out here and tries to move me on and finds he can't and that he has no power over where I am, it's private land and therefore he can't move me on. Then when I find I'm being chased by police the week after and the week after and the week after, that's either malicious or the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, and every copper who drives along is just going to stop by when he wants. And so then there's a systemic problem. It's a problem one way or the other. And I've made comment and maybe got angry at times and been a little bit derogatory about the police. My pun about the Guardia Sizzle, you know, the Guardia Civil as they're called over here, I turned that into sizzle because bacon, piggies, yeah, there. You know, I still think it's a clever pun. I'll still use it from time to time. But as I've stated previously, I've literally been involved in the saving of the lives of 2 police officers in the past. I'm not anti-police, far from it. But if my politics and other people's politics differ, and they choose to no longer support me and no longer wish to be affiliated with me, I can't do anything about that. So goodbye and good luck to them. I wish them well. Appreciate everything they did for me over the last year. I'm not going to name names, but such is life. We move on. You know, my politics aren't going to agree with everybody else's, and my situation is such that I will be angry from time to time and may lash out verbally. I may say things that people don't agree with. Sometimes I say things that with hindsight I don't agree with. I'm a dick. What can you say? So we move on, folks. We move on. The loss of key supporters, though. And that was immediately after last week's TrampCast. So that kind of knocked my mood a little bit. We'll get to that in a moment. We'll get to that because that's more in the week's events rather than in the themes. I've mentioned that nobody's been here this week. Nobody's been to the camp. I tell her, like, one guy, Ismo, my friend Ismo's been ill, and he came and he was here for about a quarter of an hour and then had to leave again. He was going to the doctors, going to the health centre. But other than that, that feeling of isolation that I've mentioned a few times over the last few weeks, that little lost and lonely, with most of my friends, supporters who have not been in country, and I guess with the supporters that I do have turning their back on me and saying goodbye and good luck, I guess that fed into that as well. So that feeling of isolation kind of fed into things and was a thing through the week. Being low on cash, I've just mentioned, that's an ever present, but when you get down to your last 15 euros and under, you start to wonder how long can that last. And I mentioned this morning, I couldn't remember when it is that my phone is due for renewal and when I have to do the payments. And the only, what's the word? The only economical way that I can make these payments to the phone company, I have to pay for 2 months at once. It's 15 euros a month on my current package. I may have to step that down. I might have to step that down if I can't afford to keep paying that. And then I have to start limiting my gigabytes, not using so much. Limit my YouTubery. It's all a balancing act, things I have to bear in mind. But this morning I couldn't remember whether it was today that that my package ended or whether it was the end of next week. It's actually the week after that. I've got 14 days left still, so that's not the panic I thought it was. But yeah, that was a concern this morning. I was quite worried. I just mentioned water. I'm running low on water. The last 2 or 3 days I've been telling myself I'm going to get up in the morning and go for water. And if I forget and it gets to kind of 9 o'clock or 9:30, it's already too late. It's already too hot for me and the dog to do the half-mile walk, whatever it is, to go and get the water at the foot pump at the beach. So yeah, I've been missing. I got to make a mental note to go as soon as I wake up. As soon as if I can go just after it gets light, while it's still quite cool outside. Hey babe, what are you doing? Hey babe, come here. My Tina girl. Go get a drink of water. Tina's water. Go on. See if I can turn the camera on for a little bit. There she is. Yeah, she is. Drink of water. Tina's water. Agua. Agua para Tina. No? No agua. ¿Por qué no quieres agua? Whatever reason, she doesn't want any water. Oh. Put the sponge back on. Where was I? Water. Yeah, I talked about water. I'm running low. I've got a trolley. I used to carry them in a bag, one of the Mercadona shopping bags. I used to put 2 8-litre bottles in. So carry 16 litres back on my back. It's a bit just short of 40 pounds, I think, in American Imperial. 35, 37, somewhere there. But then some of you guys got me a little trolley, and that was Harry and Jill. Got me a trolley which I use. But the water's been turned off I was going to say all winter, but all spring as well. But it's back on now. I can go and get it. It's not clean water. We have to treat it, but we've got to go and do that. But I've got to remember to go. Got to make a mental note to get up and out just after light, just after first light. I don't know if I'm kind of putting it off mentally or if I'm just not remembering quick enough. But like I said, we used all the water, washing the dog lead and washing a few items of clothing. Washing clothes just takes so much water you don't realise. Okay, folks, I think those were the themes of the week, the overarching kind of concerns and ideas. That and flies. Now at the minute I'm surrounded by a cloud of them, but it's not quite the time of day for them to become bitey. In another hour or two, they'll start getting all all ganachery and vampiric. Okay, folks, where are we? 25 minutes in. Shall we make a start on the week proper? This is episode 37 of TrampCast. A look at the week in the life of me, an Englishman, a tramp, living in Torrevieja in Spain. Surviving in a field, getting by day. We begin, as is customary, with Sunday last week after the TrampCast finished. And I sat out here in the breeze, as has become kind of usual the last month or so, while we've been in summer. I didn't used to do it, but now I sit here on an evening as the sun goes down and it gets a little bit cooler, sitting in the night air. But my mood was knocked, as I've discussed, by communication from, as I said, people who've been strong supporters, who disagree with some of my thoughts and feelings on some issues and feel they no longer wish to be associated with me. Cut all ties. No more help, no more assistance. Unfriended on Twitter, just poof, gone. Cheers, good luck to you. I hope you make $1 million. I'm not bitter. I wish them well. But if our politics don't align, such is life. That knocked my mood. So I didn't stay out here as long as I have on other Sundays after the stream. It's just nice. Sit as the air gets cooler, sit out, just unwind, decompress. Enjoy my coffee. Two-handed drinking again, folks. Blah. Instant coffee, cold water that's just getting warm in the sun. Black, because milk won't keep in my fridge box. Now, also last Sunday, there was a bit of a football match going on. So that was another reason not to sit out here until it went totally dark. England put on a good show against Spain, but not quite good enough. And this being Spain, and the Spanish liking their fireworks, and my dog really being truly petrified of fireworks. Truly petrified. She was shaking like a leaf. Every time a goal was scored, at the kickoff, at half time, at full time. Poor thing. I mean, I literally had to force her out of her corner where she tries to get some comfort. Had to force her out of there onto the mattress, onto the bed, so that I could cuddle her, hold her, put a blanket over her head, put my hands over her ears. I spent the second half holding her head with my hand over her ears and trying to hold her down and stop her pulling away and going into her corner. Where, to be frank, it's only a matter of time before she starts doing damage to the tent. She backs into the corner so strongly that she's pushing the wall out, and then she sits down on the kind of the convex surface of the, hold on, I've got the right word, concave surface of the wall. So she's sitting on the wall, and then she sits down, and that pulls, because it's a tent, it's just fabric, that pulls the walls and the ceiling and misshapes it, and things are starting to pop and creak and crack. So I want to try and limit her from doing that. So while the football was on and the fireworks were going off, I was literally holding her down on the bed. Poor thing. Hitting a girl. Oh, car going past. So that was last Sunday. And these fireworks, guys, they didn't stop. They just didn't stop. I thought they stopped at about 3 in the morning. So I took her out for a little walk. Let her do a call of nature stuff. But You know, I needed there to be no fireworks for a few minutes. And we nipped out, when it was all good. We got back inside. I let her go into her corner rather than on the bed. I thought the worst of it was over. She got settled in her corner, and 5 or 10 seconds later, a barrage of fireworks. 3:15 in the morning, and there's a whole barrage of them going off. She was petrified, poor thing. I had to get her back on the mattress, get her back on the bed, and cuddle the life out of her. So that was Sunday night. Monday morning, the weather forecast says plus 4 degrees, 4 degrees warmer than the previous day. And we got these warnings, these red bars saying extreme heat event, potential for loss of life with heat. I don't know what the threshold is for those going on. I think it's somewhere around 30, but the forecast was for 32, 33 degrees, I think. And I thought we were going to have to go out and leave the tent, you know, go out and sit on a cliff, sit in a breeze somewhere, maybe in the park. Although Tina struggles to walk that far nowadays, since she was kicked that time. Maybe we could have gone over the cliffs that way, but again, it's 500 or 600 meters away. It's not exactly around the corner when she's struggling to walk. But in the end, we managed to just stay in camp. And this is one of those days where I recorded a little intro as if we were going to go away, and then it never got used because we didn't go out. We just managed to stay here and pass some time. I watched back the Sunday live stream and realised how bad the audio had been. And because I couldn't see your comments if anyone was telling me it was bad, I didn't know until I played it back. And this was when Liz sent me an email saying to cut a sponge and you know, one of these pan scrubs, slice down the side and put it on the phone. Which I'm trying now, and I've got no idea how well it's working. I won't know that until I play this back either tonight or tomorrow. Such is life, folks. So yeah, I spent time here playing back the live stream and just and other videos and things. Yeah, didn't like the portrait mode on last week's TrampCast. Not good. But I think me doing it that way is why YouTube sent hundreds of people in to try and watch it, even though none of them stayed. I might try a separate, maybe we'll do a special in midweek or something and do it portrait mode and see whether that similarly gets lots of people sent in. As you know, as I mentioned last week, I'm trying to hit that 1,000, trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate it. If you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, consider it. It just sends a signal to YouTube and tells them to tell more people that this is here. Vanity, I know. But hey, I'm a tramp living in a field. Give me a break. I even have to hold my own parasol up, guys, because I haven't got the thing that it fits in to stand it up. But thank you to Suzanne last week for buying me this, because it was a bit of a performance in the end. But it is appreciated and it is useful. There is no shade in this field, or very, very little. There's one tree over there, but it's only about 35, 40 centimetres off the ground, so it's not easy to get under. Okay, folks, Monday. I'm talking about Monday. Me and Tina went to the shop, and as I've said, she struggles that distance. Her back legs are they're not healing. If you remember, I got arrested a couple of months back and the police kicked the dog twice. Twice that I saw. Probably more after I was taken away. And then they left her just to wander here aimlessly for 10 hours until friends found her. I was hoping it was something that was just going to heal, that she'd get better over time. And I think her back right leg is getting better, but the back leg still splays out and sometimes collapses under her, which isn't great. So like I said, we go to the shop and just to buy just odds and sods, pan scrubs for one thing. I needed pan scrubs. I think I got washing up liquid the week before, dish detergent. But oh, I needed I needed fly spray. My friend Ismail came around a week or so ago and used a load of fly spray because they were being a nuisance, and he emptied the tin. And I knew I'd got another tin. I thought I had another tin somewhere, but I couldn't find it. So we went and bought one. And then a few days later, I found that I'd already got a full one somewhere that was just tucked away, hidden. You'd be amazed how often I can lose stuff in a small area like this. What is it? 7 meters by 3 meters, roughly. 21 square meters, folks. And in some ways, it's like a TARDIS. I can lose things for weeks. I lost a jacket potato in bed. It's 2 nights ago? I think 2 nights ago. It took me an hour to find the fucking thing. A jacket potato. I spent all day cooking them in the slow cooker. And when it got to night, I didn't eat them hot. I waited for them to cool down. I put them on a I put 2 or 3 on a chopping board along with a roast onion. And I took them through, and I got a knife, and I got butter, and I cut. And one of the potatoes fell off the chopping board onto my bed. I was going to sit down and eat them. And I'm all over. In the end, I had to stand up, put a light on, and take every cover off the bed before I could find the damn thing. Literally took an hour to find the fucking thing. The tales I could tell about what's been lost in and around that bed. I won't, but yeah. Okay, also Monday night, Monday evening. This was where I had a look through the videos from a year ago and saw some of the upcoming events over this week. Some of the things that would be 1 year ago this week. So I'll line those up. So whilst I haven't put out many videos this week, any videos this week until this morning, I don't think, I did a few community posts and tweets, Twitter, X, excretions, whatever they're called now, just signposting some of those previous videos. And we'll get to another one that I didn't specifically signpost. Well, I did, but only after YouTube started to promote this particular video. Oh, I'll just sit straight. So yeah, I went through the videos and found a bunch that were going to be released over the week as community notes, they call it, community posts. Is this? How are we doing here for? Am I on? Something like that, isn't it? Somewhere there. Okay, so that was Monday. Tuesday, another long, hot, boring day. See guys, last year at this time I was taking off to the park and sitting in the park for 5, 6, 8 hours at a time. I'm a little bit more constrained this year because I've got my cool box set outside the tent and I've got my solar panel and the EcoFlow River 2, which is like a generator. It's like a battery for the solar panel that then gives the power out to the cool box and whatever else. And to keep the sun off the cool box, I'm moving the solar. I'm putting the solar panel, between the box and the sun, which means it needs moving periodically, moving around, moving up. We get to 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock when the sun's directly overhead. I put the panel on top of the box, separated. A couple of pop bottles filled with water on the top to create a separator so that the hot panel is not directly on the lid of the cool box. But it means managing the process, certainly through the morning until 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, maybe 2 o'clock. Then somewhere around 4 or 5, there's some adjustment needs making because the sun gets around behind and starts shining in on the back of the cool box. So in some ways, I'm a little bit more constrained than last year. And like I've just been saying, my dog can't exactly walk easily up to the park at the minute. Hey, Tina girl. Daddy loves his girl. See if we can show the people again. I like to show them. It's tradition. Whoops, hand in front of the camera. Sorry, folks. I needed to steady the phone so I could do this a little bit. There's my girl. Hey, babe. Say hello to the people. Okay, catch a fly instead. Where's that pointing? Is that still pointing at her? Oh, I've knackered it now, haven't I? If I can't get it back. There we go. Flies. Got a swarm of flies around me. I don't know whether you can see them on screen. Okay, folks. Tuesday, long, hot, boring day. But I stay in camp again. I think about going away, but all the reasons I've just said, managing solar panels, the dog not able to walk too far, I make the decision to stay in camp, even though it's going to be another stupid hot day. In and around, and mainly inside the tent, but low down, so laying on the bed, because it's kind of the coolest spot in the tent at the minute. And I get into not a rut, that wouldn't be the right word, but I fall down a bit of a black hole watching a bloke on YouTube called Asmongold. He's a streamer and he found fame originally as one of the top World of Warcraft players back in the day, computer games, video games, and but he's actually quite a rational, logical, intelligent person and quite well read. And now he's moved into doing kind of what called reaction videos. He watches other people's videos and makes comments about news or current events, current affairs, things like that. And I just fell down a rabbit hole of. He's also got a podcast, which is released on Fridays, I believe, usually about an hour and a half, 2 hours long. And there's about 100 of them. So I've fallen into a right rabbit hole of trying to catch up with some of these. Yeah, so at the minute, it's a mixture of me watching some of the older ones and watching some of the newer ones. Reactions to like the presidential assassination attempt last weekend and stuff. Yeah, so I've a lot of time spent just watching YouTube rather than doing YouTube this week. That was my Tuesday, folks. That was it. Just that and the ablutions, the regular routine. You know, walk the dog, let her do what she needs to do. Cooking food and what have you. Like I said, long, hot, boring day. Now Wednesday, somehow. She gets me up at 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock in the bloody morning for a doggy walk. I think I'd fallen asleep. No, babe. No. Tina, no. Hey. Tina girl. Tina girl. Stop it. Tina, come and sit down. Sit down. Tina's corner. Go. Get in your corner. Lay down in the shade. Good girl. That's a good girl. No. Oh, well, they're looking this way. I'm about to wave, but they looked away. Tina girl, that's enough. No, I was going to say hello, but they didn't look. The second batch. Where was that? Oh, I'd fallen asleep and she woke me up for a dog walk, as she does sometimes. And out we come, 2 o'clock in the morning. And it wasn't just a short walk either. She insisted on one of the longer ones where we go around and go up the bin and come back from the other side. 2 o'clock. But a program that I watch on a Tuesday night has been getting earlier and earlier. It used to start at 3 in the morning. So I thought, oh good, I'll catch it. She got me up at 2, 2:15, 2:30 by the time we finish the dog walk. What can go wrong? I'll just put Tuesday night's main event on. No, turns out it started at midnight and they're They're already winding down by the time I get there. So that was fun. But I'm awake, so I just do the rewind thing and watch it from the beginning. But I'm not watching it live. I'm watching it 2.5 hour delay. That was no fun. But then a program I've talked about in the past, Nick Recator Law. He's had a lot of problems recently. He got his house got raided, and the police found some substances that they believe to be not good substances, and they've taken his children off him temporarily. But he talks about the law. He tries not to talk about his own case, but he keeps getting dragged into it and talking about it. So there he is trying to do a talk about President Trump and these other things. But he ends up talking kind of out the corner of his mouth. He's talking about his own case, but trying not to make it too obvious that's what he's talking about. So that was fun to watch. Hey Tina, your back legs just gave way, darling. Where are we? Wednesday morning still, yeah. This was when, Wednesday, this is when I noticed, I mentioned a while ago that one of my videos that I wasn't promoting, an older video, started to take off again and get a lot of attention, comparatively. And it's from 4.5 months ago. And if you were here at the time, it was when I got this tent. If you remember that day when we took down the old tent, if you remember, I emptied out the front of the tent, the vestibule, and then when I emptied the bedroom, the entire tent collapsed. My bed was all that was holding the tent up. And then we erected this new tent that you guys paid for. My friend Karen and her family paid half, and I contributed half from funds received from you guys, from my followers. So the video from the day where we took the old one down, put the new one up, and had the police arrive on site within, I think it was an hour and a half, 2.5 hours before they turned up. Tina girl, stop scratching. Stop it. Good girl. Back in your corner, under your bush. No? If you don't move, I'm going to put the camera back on you. Tina, stop scratching. Is that on her again? I can't see. Yeah, it is. Tina girl. Tina, come here. Let me check your ear if that's what you're scratching. Come here. Come here now. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, it's the flies. It's the flies around your ear. Okay, babe. I got you. Is that me again? That's on me. Sorry, folks. Just having to look after my doggie. I think she had a fly in her ear. Where are we? Oh, the video that started to take off, the tent video. Yeah, so because YouTube was starting to promote it a bit, I promoted it myself as well. I put out another one of these community posts and tweet. And yeah, it got more views. It got more views in the last few days than it did certainly in the 2 months. Not as many as it got in the original month, but it picked up, did okay. Which helps me with my numbers, with, you know me and my graphs. You've been here a while, I like to watch my graphs and see the numbers climb. It's just how I am, folks, I can't do anything about it. So basically, that was my Wednesday. Another long, hot, boring day with me just trying to stay in the tent and stay out of the way. Not a lot more to say or do. Takes us to Thursday. Again, recorded a video in the morning that never got released because it was just it was designed to act as an intro to a longer day-long video, but the rest of the video never really happened. This was where we hit 975 subscribers all of a sudden. We'd been on 972 or something. I think we were on 972 this time last week, and then as soon as I said that in the live stream, we lost one. Possibly the people that I said that, you know, that wished me well but were saying goodbye and good luck. But the numbers suddenly took off again because of this attention that this one video was getting. I suddenly got 3 or 4 new subscribers. So we hit 975. I put out a message saying, hey, 975, join me as we go for 1,000. And we immediately fell back down to 974. Yeah, such is life, folks, such is life. Don't get too involved don't get too hooked on the numbers. That's the advice everyone gives. But I'm just a numbersy kind of focused guy. So this was when I announced the Friday open day. Friday evening was there was going to be so this is Thursday I'm saying this. I put out a message saying that I'm going to cook some hot dogs, and if anybody wants to come down and maybe bring a bit of beer, and I'll have some hot dogs. We'll have a Friday evening or Friday night kind of party, would be overstating it, but I'd put some food on, cook some food, you bring the beer, I'll supply the hot dogs. So Thursday I'm saying I'll do this Friday. And then a couple of hours later something strange happens. A Spanish couple, now the open day thing relies on people emailing me. I specifically say, send me an email either Thursday night or Friday morning to confirm that you're coming so that I can, be ready. But about an hour after I put the message out, a Spanish couple are walking past the camp and they say hello. And they ask me if I've got food. And I'm thinking, I'm a tramp. They're concerned. They're asking me if I've got enough food. And I tell them, yeah, I've got plenty. I'm doing okay. I'm okay, thank you. And then she's, no. Have you got food for us? And I'm like, what? I'm the tramp living in a tent in a field, and I've got people asking me for food randomly. And I was a bit perplexed. I didn't understand. I still don't. I made them a couple of sandwiches each, and but they only had Spanish. My Spanish is terrible, so we couldn't really communicate too well. I've got a few words. I can string a little sentence together, just about, if you let me rehearse it in advance. And I was left thinking afterwards, had they seen the message about the hot dogs and the open night, basically Friday night party, had they seen that and got the day wrong and come down wrong, or was it some other random thing where people decide to ask a tramp for food? The only thing I could come up with, and it kind of tortured me for the night because it seemed a little bit embarrassing. I didn't know whether I should be embarrassed or whether I'm embarrassed on their behalf. I had no idea what the only thing I could think, it's either the thing I just said, that they heard my announcement about food and they just mistranslated Friday and came Thursday, or possibly the lady was diabetic and had been out too long and just needed, someone's taken insulin but then doesn't eat all day, they can go, is it hypo or hyperglycemic? So I don't know, but it was just one of those embarrassing things where instead of bringing food to a tramp and helping out, they're taking food away from a tramp. I'm not sure what happened. I don't get it. I don't know what that was about. Who's saying I need to tidy up, and why? Is that Karen? I always need to tidy up. Tent's always a mess. I can make out some of the writing. The messages are in white. The names are in a different colour and it's not as clear. Fireworks and pets, no good. Damn right, no good, yeah. Ever been to Cabo Roig? I think I've driven down there with friends in the past, but a long time ago. Been to La Marina, but that would be about 30 years ago. I can see the message. Big up Mike and Tina. Thank you very much. Is it Andrew? I think it says Andrew. You are a nice guy. I think so. I'll get back to these folks because I honestly, I struggle to read them in this light. This phone just doesn't, the screen just doesn't go bright enough. I wish there was a way of overriding whatever the setting is and just pump up the brightness an extra 20-25%. But there are apps that will do that with sound, but I've never seen anything that will do it with the brightness. Where are my folks? The weird cup. Yeah, I gave them ham on York, which is basically a boiled ham. Supposedly an English style boiled ham, but the flavouring is never quite like what you get in the UK. It's, I don't know how to describe it. But that's what I gave them. I gave them 2 buns each with ham on York. But my best theory is the diabetes one. Either that or a mistranslation, a misunderstanding on the... if you're out there, folks, if you are that Spanish couple, if you want to come again and, you know, you're welcome. I'm not angry or annoyed. If you do want to come again, Friday night, we'll do another one. Well, it never happened. Nobody confirmed. Nobody wanted to come down this week, as I've mentioned previously. But it's an open invitation for Friday nights. Just bring alcohol. Oh, red wine and cola, and it's really, really warm. Oh, both of my drinks are horrible they're both warm in the wrong direction. Instead of being hot, my coffee's tepid, and my drink, instead of being cold, is tepid. It's warmer than tepid, actually. I mean, it's positively warm. Okay, folks, that was Thursday with the misunderstanding or whatever it was with the fork and the and taking food from a tramp. I don't know. Happy if she needed help, if it was a diabetic, then I'm happy to help. I'll always help anybody, anytime, anywhere. I just wish I understood what was happening and why. And I wish I had the communication skills to clarify what was happening and why. Okay, folks, Friday morning, and again, the forecast, 3 degrees warmer than the day before. It feels like every day this week has been 2 or 3 degrees warmer than the day before. 1 or 2 of them must have been cooler, but it just feels that way. And again, we get this red warning in the weather app. Danger to life, you know, critical heat alert, or however it's worded. Now this was where I've been soaking clothes on the Thursday, and I'm washing them on the Friday. And this is where all my water went. Then my mate Ismo, who I'd not heard from Ismo for a few days. So on the Thursday I sent him a message, everything okay? And he said, no, I've been ill for the last few days. He got some kind of infection in his leg. And he'd had a fever, but it cleared. So he came round on the Friday. But he wasn't here long. He's only here about a quarter of an hour. And he went away again. He's in his car. And he went away again because a friend was going to take him to the health centre. I think his friend speaks Spanish and can help him with the, you know, getting understood by doctors and understanding them. So Ismo came, but not for long. And now he's on tablets. Now he gets a message, no alcohol for the next 7 days. Poor Ismo. Anyway, so here I am on the front, washing clothes. Ismo's been and gone. And I'm chatting with a few people on either Messenger or WhatsApp. I like to, on a Friday, well, if I said ring around, that's not the right phrase. But if I haven't contacted people for a while, I use Friday as a day to try and catch up with a couple of people every week. You know, different, just so that. How can I put this? I don't suddenly want to be in 1 month's time, let's say I'm in a situation and I need help. I don't want to be reaching out to people wanting help out of the blue. Like it's like the only time I ever talk to them is when I need help. That's no good, is it? You gotta maintain a friendship or a relationship. You gotta put some effort in and stay in touch. It's always been a weakness of mine. I'm not good at that as a general rule. I do tend to let friendships slide and become, what's the word, dormant, I guess. I don't fall out with people often, very, very rarely, but I do just let things lag to the point of dormancy. Sometimes they just atrophy and die on the vine. So I like to make an effort. So I spent Friday trying to chat with people, and also I spent the whole day cooking jacket potatoes in the slow cooker here. Again, on the days when I'm cooking in the slow cooker, because it's electric, I have to balance how much power goes to the slow cooker and how much goes to the cool box to try and keep my food from going off. And I think I've got a few things at the minute that are getting there. But it's that balancing act. And also, because the slow cooker uses about 150 watts and the solar panel puts out 100, when the slow cooker's on high, it's going to take power more quickly than we've got it. So eventually the battery's going to end up dead. So I have to turn it off every now and again and let the battery top up, and then run the cool box for a while, let the battery top up, and then back to the slow cooker. It's a balancing act. Trying to cook in a field when you're not allowed gas because the police will confiscate it. Probably at this point where I swore last week and called them thieving. It's probably what lost me some friends. But anyway, yeah, so there we are. That was the day, managing food, but cooking those potatoes, and that led to the losing of a potato in the bed that I referenced earlier. 1 hour to find a fucking jacket potato in the dark in bed. Fuck. Okay, folks, Friday night. We all know what that means, yeah? Friday Night Tights on the Nerdrotic channel on YouTube. I saw 2/3 of it. It's just 2/3 more than the last 2 weeks. And then I promptly fell asleep. Just after I told a friend, I was speaking with a friend online, and I said, yeah, I'm watching it. Yeah, no, I'm awake. I'm watching it this week. No, I'm fine. I'm wide awake. Gone. And I woke up just as it was finishing. Took Tina out for a quick walk and then rewound and watched from where I'd left off, from where I fell asleep. So again, watching it but not live, watching it on catch up. But it was good enough, you know. I was only, I don't know, an hour and a half maybe behind. It's all good, all good. So into Saturday morning, and this is where I said we meant to go for water because we'd been washing Tina's dog leads and some of my clothes that got covered in nastiness. And I didn't think to get up and out quick enough. Before I knew it, it was 9:30, nearly 10 o'clock, and it's too warm to. I have to hold the 8-litre water bottle off the ground while it fills up, and it's not quick to fill. It's a slow plunger, kind of, you know, where you wash your feet. It comes out slowly, and okay. We got a police car approached along the top road and hasn't gone past. That's a concern. All the other cars either side of it have gone past, but not the cop car. That usually means that they're turning and coming down here to me. Where was I? Yeah, it's physically, even though I've got a trolley to carry the water, carry the bottles, holding them up to fill them, and then putting them on the trolley, and then even dragging the trolley back, because you've got 5 lots of 8 litres, so you've got 40 kilograms of water on the trolley, that you're dragging back, and it's at a kind of a 45-degree slope, so you're still holding, well, you've got half, roughly speaking, you've got half that weight on your arms still. You're still kind of carrying half the water while you're dragging it back. And it's still quite physical. And you're out in the sun, and I have to walk on the side of the road with oncoming traffic coming right at me, and with a dog at my side, and trying to keep her on the inside away from the road. It's all a bit, but it was too warm. I'd left it too late. So anyway, for brunch, I had the remaining jacket potatoes. So I missed going and getting water. I left it too late. But I sat down and I had the remaining jacket potatoes and roast onion. Lovely, folks. If you've never done a whole onion, just put an onion in the oven. I don't know where I got the H from there, but there we go. Oh, this was where I sat down on the bed to eat the potato. I cut potato in half, open it up. It's on the chopping board. I've got a tub of butter, and it's melted. It's been out. So I went to pour the melted butter, over the jacket potato. And too much came out at once. It came off the potato, straight off the chopping board, and right over my crotch. Buttery bollocks. On a pair of shorts that I've only been wearing for 2 days. When I've been cleaning the clothes, I decided that the pair of shorts that I've been wearing for a month, the outer shorts, not the inner, short trousers, decided to wash those. And I swapped to a different pair, and after just 2 bloody days I've poured a load of butter all over my balls. And it's not just going to wipe clean, is it? It's going to be fatty, smeary, messy for forever. So I had to change my trousers back again into the newly cleaned ones, and I haven't got enough water to wash these other shorts yet. That messed up. That was a big mess. But basically, smearing butter over my balls was the highlight of the day. Yesterday, Saturday, it was 1 year ago that I put out a message. We were on 99 subscribers at the time, and we were waiting for subscriber number 100. And I think it's a year ago today that we landed the 100 subscriber. And if you remember, folks, do you remember that somebody brought me a tent, a small, I think a 3-man tent, in a green wrapper? Subscribers number 100 back in the day, a year ago. But yeah, so it's today, a year ago yesterday I put the message out, and a year ago today that we landed subscriber 100. And there'll actually be a couple of them probably, because I think, if I remember right, we got subscriber 100, and then someone unsubscribed, and so the next subscribers were also subscriber 100. It's YouTubery, what can you do? But anyway, folks, Saturday night, no Big Clive live at the minute. Big Clive is working at the Edinburgh Tattoo. He's on the electrics, the lighting department. It's a job he does every year. It's his big pride and joy kind of doing that one particular job. He's got 1 million a million plus followers on YouTube, so he doesn't exactly need to work. But that's his kind of, I don't know, claim to fame, but he enjoys that one so much he won't give that job up. He's let other jobs go. He's not doing other work. But that means he's not doing his Saturday night shows. So Scruff Dog, who does a show immediately after Clive's, moved forward and he's in the Big Clive slot at the minute. Big Clive might like him in his slot, I'm not sure. But you're telling your own jokes now, maybe. I don't know. I know what you guys are like. I've seen you. I know what you're like. I saw the comments on Scruff Dog's channel last night. I think I initiated that whole conversation, actually. But yeah, So Saturday night, no Big Clive, but Scruff Dog was there. And as I mentioned at the start of the show, as he was wrapping up, Scruff Dog gave me a little shout out, telling people to come and watch the stream. Well, not telling, but telling them that it's there and available as an option. So that was Saturday night. The next thing I know, I've fallen asleep. The dog's in her corner of the tent, as I've mentioned before. And the next thing, I wake up at 4:30 and there's a dog barking out in this field. It's my fucking dog. I've gone to sleep in the tent with all the doors closed and my dog's outside. And here's what's happened. I don't know how or what, well, I don't know why, but I tell you the how. The door is sealed on one edge and zips along the top and down the side. Let me do that in front of the camera. Sealed on one edge and it zips along the top and down one side. And at the bottom it's basically open but with Velcro, which I wasn't too happy about at first because remember rats and mice in this field. But it's a good 9 inches or more kind of a threshold that you have to step over to get in through the door. Tina, no. Tina, hey, leave the lady alone. Tina girl, quiet. Leave the lady alone. Hey, sit down in your corner. So what she must have done, and I'd left the mesh, the mosquito mesh, I'd left that part open. So she's got up in the night for whatever reason, pushed her way out of, pushed the door and the Velcro's opened and she scrambled out under it. But then it's like a one-way valve. She can push out, but she can't do the same. She can't push back in because the door comes further down on the outside. So she sat out here barking to get my attention, 4:30. And she wakes me up, like I said, but there are other voices around. There are other people somewhere close by. There often are on the weekend. It's a bit of a... If you say Lover's Lane, you'll get my drift. On the cliff tops along there, just at the back of these trees. Yeah. Lots of nappy wipes in the morning. Nappy wipes or... what do you call them? Moist towelettes, wet wipes. And condoms. So these people are not quiet, which is probably what set her off and got her up and out. I don't know. But anyway, I had to get up and I took her for a quick walk in case that's what she'd been wanting and brought her back inside. That's my doggy. That was my Saturday night, folks. Saturday night into Sunday morning. Oh, flies. Now Sunday, the forecast earlier in the week had said that Sunday was going to get a little bit cooler. Saturday was supposed to be the peak heat, 34, 35, maybe 36 degrees. The prediction had moved around at different times. But Sunday was supposed to be a little bit cooler. No. This morning, 10 AM, by the time I kind of got my bearings and got established, 37 degrees inside my tent in the coolest part, on the low point, on the bed where I lay. 37 fucking degrees at 10 in the morning. And as I've said before, 10 o'clock's already too late for me to go and get the water and stuff. Fortunately, I've got lots of little bottles, litre and a half, 2 litre bottles of water. It's only the bulk, the 6 and 8 litre bottles that I'm low on. So I'm not in any, there's no worries, there's no worries yet. But it's already too late for me to take the doggy out. But this was where I pushed out, like as I said, yesterday there was this message that yesterday was the anniversary of a video saying that we were about to hit 100. Today is the anniversary of us actually hitting the 100. So I did a community post and put that out this morning. But I took Tina for a walk and ended up doing a quick video that I came back to the tent and just released. Basically just advertising TrampCast this afternoon. And mentioning the anniversary of the 100th subscriber. It's weird to think that a year ago I was hitting 100 subscribers, and in a few days, maybe within the next month, I'll be hitting 1,000. That's something. I know, you know, by most YouTube channels, benchmarks, it's nothing. But they get to edit their videos. they get to sit and do stuff and process them properly, and sit at a laptop or a computer and edit them in fancy ways that I don't get to. I'm editing everything on a phone. I'm not really editing, I'm just cropping little bits and adding multiple clips together. You couldn't really call it editing. The animations, when I make the text slide about the screen and things, that's me. That was done on the phone as well. But that was basically it for the day, folks. That was me. I then sat down inside the tent and wrote out my notes really badly for today. If you notice, I don't know if you can see this, my numbers section is normally in the top corner. Normally I put those in first, and then everything fits around. Today, I thought I'll leave that till last. And then I went and forgot, and I wrote everything else straight across the page, right into that space. I didn't even leave room for it. You know? If my balls weren't in a bag, I'd forget them. What can you say? Okay, that's basically us up to date, folks. For the week ahead, it's more of the same. Trying to survive day by day, trying to keep my food cool and stop it going off, trying to get enough water into the camp for cleaning and what have you, and just trying to keep cool, because the next 5 or 6 weeks are going to be hell. The end of July and the whole of August, that's your peak summer in Spain, in a tent that's already hitting 50 degrees at times in places. That is that, folks. I think we've got a couple of anniversaries coming up. I'm not sure exactly when. I saw that it was soon, but I don't know if it's in the next week. If you remember a year ago when I got arrested, and when I got released the day after, and all my things had been thrown in the hedge next to the road, when they'd emptied my pockets and just thrown them in the road. Again, folks, I'm not anti-police. I'm anti-bad policing. You explain to me the circumstances by which it's okay to arrest somebody, empty their pockets there and then just throw their stuff in the fucking hedge. Under what circumstances is that okay? So anybody that wants to bin me off, not support me or like me anymore because of my views, that's what I'm putting up with. That's what I'm up against. That's why I get angry with the police sometimes. With specific police and specific incidents. I'm not anti-police. As I've said many times, I've literally saved the lives of policemen. Literally. And put my own life in danger to do so. Gets me angry when people misinterpret me or think that I'm anti-police. Anyway, folks, I'll have a quick look in the chat, see whether there's anything, see whether the lighting's such that I can read any of it. Where are we? I think that's Scuff Dog's logo there, is it? It looks like it. Hello, my friend. I don't know how long you've been here. As Karen saying, you need to tidy up. Okay, folks, that's me. I'm going to let you go. 1 hour, coming up for 1 hour, 20 minutes. I knew it was going to be a short one. Even with the time wasting numbers section at the beginning. Let's see whether I can do this. I'm going to take the sponge off the microphone. Let's see whether we can do this properly. From Tina. Whoa, I'm dropping the phone. From Tina. And from me, Delta Mike. out. Awkward moment.